Welcome guys. So this is a good set of data interpretation. You'll have to bear some patience and solve this. 4 gastronomes G1, G2, G3 and G4 rated 3 features F1, F2, F3 for 2 foods X and Y. Each of these gastronomes suffer from dysparonumerophobia, that is phobia of odd numbers. So they decided to rate the features using even positive integers from 0 to 20 on a scale of 20. Table 1 shows triplets having the lowest, average and highest rating in the given order. So if we look into table 1, for feature F1 for food X, we know the lowest value, we know the highest value and the average of all the values given by 4 gastronomes. Table 2 shows ratings given by 4 gastronomes in 2 of the 3 given features in food X and Y. So we know that there are 3 features for gastronome G1. We know 2 values for food X. For gastronome G2, we know 2 values for 3 of the features of a particular food X, and so for Y. Now what is table 3? Table 3 shows the average rating of individual gastronomes of each of the feature of the product. So it gives the average for each of the gastronome for each of the features, not each of the features, just for 2 features F1 and F2. Now how would be the table of this particular data set? What would be the mind mapping of the information? So we have 2 foods X and Y. Each of these food will have 3 features F1, F2 and F3. So this is the rough mind mapping, F1, F2 and F3, and we'll have 4 gastronome giving values to each of the features, right? G1 will give value, G2 will give value, G3 will give value and G4 will give some values over here, right? Now what is along this column? Table 1 would give the values along this column, the lowest value, the highest value and the average of all the values. So along the column we'll use table 1. What is table 2? Table 2 shows that for each of the rows we have 2 out of, in these 3 cells we have 2 out of 3 values, right? Similarly for each of these 3 cells we know the values. Now what is table 3? Very interestingly, if you look into this value, G1 is giving average of 12 for feature F1. So G1 will give 2 values or 2 scores for food X and 1 for food Y. An average of this is given in this table. So this is the understanding of the table. Now having said that, if we have mind mapped our table for the given information, solving this would be easier. Let me draw a clear table. Fine, I've made the table. Now if you see this along extended row and column, this is nothing but I've taken all the information from table 1, the lowest value, the highest value, and I've just multiplied the average by 4, because this 13 was the average given by 4 gastronomes for feature 1 for food X. So I've just summed this up and made it to 52. That's all for the other table. Now what do we need to find? We need to find, let's have a rough idea, what do we need to find? G1, F1 and X. So we need to find this cell, G3, F2 and Y, G3, F2 and Y. So we need to find the value over here, G2, F3 and X, G2, F3 and X. So we need to find value of this, G4, F3 and Y, G4, F3 and Y. So we need to find this. Okay. So how to go about it? For all the questions of numbers and selection of numbers according to the given conditions or limitation, always start from the extreme values. Everywhere in all sort of LR question, always start from the extreme values. Now if you look into this table, what is the extreme value that we can see? The extreme value you can see is 19. The average itself is 19. We know the highest number would be 20. So this is the extreme value. And what is this 19? 19 is nothing but the average of G4 F1. So if we sum these 2 values, we'll get 19 as the average, and if we sum, we'll get the summation as 38. Now how can this 38 be reached? Either 20 or 18, 20 plus 18, or 18 plus, no other way, 20 plus 18, that's it. Okay. Now 20 plus 18 it can be reached. Now we know that in this cell the maximum value that we can get is 18. In this complete row the maximum value that we can get is 18. So we cannot put 20. So the value over here in this cell would be 18, and if this is 18, we'll have to go by 20 in this particular cell. Fine. Now this 18 is also the extreme value. Now what is 18? 18 is nothing but the average of F2 given by G4. So again 18, so if it is 18 is the average, summation would be 36, and 36 can be achieved by 18 plus 18 or 20 plus 16, right? Now table 2, what is table 2? Table 2 gives 2 of the values given by G4 for X, right? And 2 of the values is 12 or 20. Now for the combination of these two cells, if I put 18, I cannot put these two values elsewhere. So the only value that can come over here is 20. And if this is 20, I'll have to go with 16, right? Now it is very simple. Now we know that two values are 12 and 20. So what is remaining is 12. Similarly over here, 14 and 20 must be two values. So 20 we have already got. So this would be 14. Now how to further go about it? Let me erase all this. Now again, we can always look for the extreme points. Okay. So let's find all the extreme points and then we can go further. The other extreme point would be the lowest point. You can see this is 2, this is 4, this is 6. These are the other extreme points. So if we look into this, if we take data over here, can I put 2 over here? No, because 16 is the lowest value that can come in this column. Not over here, in fact, because 8 is the lowest value that can come in this column. So 2 would be put over here. Similarly for 4, I cannot put 4 here. I cannot put 4 here. I'll have to put 4 over here itself. Fine. Now similarly for 6, can I put 6 over here? Yes, I can put 6 here. Can I put 6 here? No, I cannot put 6 here. Can I put 6 here? Yes, I can put 6 here because the lowest value is 4. But what if I put 6 here? If I put 6 here, the summation of this complete cell, let's do it. 6 plus 4 is 10, 10 plus 12 is 22. So the value of this cell would be 46 minus 22, that is 24, which is not possible, right? Because this will exceed the limit of 20. So this makes it very clear that 6 has to be over here. Now if it is 6 over here, I can find the corresponding value over this, because the total average is 12. It means that summation of this cell and this cell has to be 24, and if it's 24, this is 18. Fine. So we are gradually filling the cells. Now the 72 in fact is one of the extreme. Total value, maximum value is 80. 72 is another one of the extreme. We know that one value has to be 16 and still we have not filled 16. So out of these two cells, one would be 16. If one is 16, the other would be 18. So the possibility is something like this: 16, 18 or 18, 18, 16. 18, 16. These two values, let's try to fill these two cells. We can do that because we know that the average of this cell and this cell is 18. It means that summation is 36. Now if it is 18, I'll have to take 18. If it is 16, I'll have to take 20. But I cannot take 20 because highest value in this column would be 18. So this makes it very clear that this would not be taken. If this not is taken, this is not taken and this is not taken. So we have clearly filled the data. Now if it is 18, I can fill the value in this cell because summation of this cell is 52. This is 36 plus 6 is 42. So this would be 10. Now if this is 10, I know that this is 16. Let's cross check this. The average is coming to be 13. So this is also perfect. Now how to go about it? Now if you look into G2, two values for X is 8 or 18. So 8 or 18 will come in these two cells and we can relate these two cells to this cell. Okay, so let's suppose 18 is over here and 8 is here. Fine. So 18 is, if 18 is over here, can you find the value of this cell? Now G2 F2, so okay, this value. So if this is 12, so summation of this value and this value will be 24, and if it is 18, this would be 6. But this is not possible because the lowest value in this column is 8. So this makes it very clear that 18 will not be over here, but 18 would be over here and we'll have 8 over here. Now if this is 8 for sure, this has to be 24, as we have seen, the summation of these two cells would be 24, and if this is 8, this has to be 16. Now if we just look into this column, the lowest and the highest number are still not taken. So this cell can either be 8 or it can either be 18. Now what if it is 8? Now if it is 8, we can find this corresponding value of this cell. If it is 8, the value or the summation of this cell and this cell would be nothing but twice 13, that is 26. So value over here would be 18. And if this is 18, what can be the value over here? 18 plus 8 is 26. 26 plus 20 is 46. And this would be 4. But that is not possible because the lowest value in this column is 8. You cannot have 4. So our all supposition of taking this as 8 is wrong. Now if this is not 8, this would have to be 18. This is 18 and this has to be 8. Now if this is 18, I can find the corresponding value because the average is 13, summation would be 26. If this is 18, this has to be 8. Now if this is 8, if I just sum this up, this is making to 36, this would be 14. Now if this is 14, I can cross check that 14 and 8, is it giving the average of 11? Yes, it is giving the average of 11. Now I have found all the values that I can answer all the question. Fine. So G1, F1 and X, G1, F1 and X, answer is 6. G3, F2 and Y, G3, F2 and Y, answer is 18. G2, F3 and X, G2, F3 and X, answer is again 18. G4, F3 and Y, answer is 14. That's all. Okay. Hope you have understood it. Thank you.